with them. Recording in progress. I don't know what that means, but you
Are we
guys think
supposed to be recording now?
We're being recorded, so.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right, so go
I
ahead
don't know
and,
why it popped up.
okay.
Do you want me to stop the recording?
I don't think so.
No, keep
Okay.
recording.
But we worked very well with Paul and James, and a lot of us don't really realize, and nothing against Alan, but the initial votes when we brought Alan in were not unanimous. There was differences, and Dr. James and Dr. Watkins helped us through all that, and they were very instrumental in helping us through all that and work together. And I think we know we can work with them, and that's something we should not overlook.
I think those of you who were here know that you can work with them.
I do have to say, would you like for me to, should we try to formulate a motion so we can begin discussion?
To answer someone's question about travel expenses for Ray and Associates, their proposal does indicate that they charge for travel expenses each time they come to the district. They estimated in their proposal that their total travel expenses would be about $3,300.
And MSBA will charge as well. It just, like Terry is indicating, that they're not going very far.
I think we need to, there's nothing wrong with embracing something new. And just because you've had something that you feel was tried and true and worked well, doesn't mean that this next company is not going to be that and more. I mean, we need to be open to change. And I really like Ray and Associates. I really do. I like the way they put their introductory letter together.
It was 5 of us that mentioned them. They might first or second.
Does anyone think it is worth, with Terry mentioning bringing in these top 2, does anyone think that there is still merit in having a conversation and interview Q&A with the top 2?
I personally am okay with Ray and Associates or MSBA, so I will vote yes on whichever one is
okay.
brought forward.
I think we should make a decision because we chose to have this meeting tonight.
Okay.
And we chose the proposals. I think we should make a decision. I'm okay with it too. I'm just, and neither one of them, MSBA would be 3rd on my list originally, but I think everybody's probably pretty okay with that, but I don't know. It's I think we should make a decision. I think it's
Mr. President, then to kind of get things off the floor, I would make a motion that we select MSBA as our search committee group for our upcoming superintendent position.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Do a roll call. Ms. Berry.
She should ask and see if there's any further discussion first.
I'm sorry. Further discussion. You're right.
Well, the only further discussion, and I understand the desire for change, but sometimes if something works and we know it works, that's pretty much an indication of a direction that we may want to continue to going down that path. And we, as Rick said, we had pretty good working relations with them, and it did turn out real well for 14 years. So that would be my reason for sticking with something. The old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But then I'm not saying that's a good thing to say either, but that would be one other thing I'd add.
I do have a question. When they worked with them before, what the process, did it provide diversity of candidates? How many candidates did you narrow? How did that all work out from there? I know we made the right selection. How did, in the process, what was?
Seemed to me like we narrowed it down to 6 or 7. We had one from Florida, one, then some others from the state. It seemed like we had one from Green Valley.
I believe there was 3 that we actually interviewed in
And
person.
then we interviewed final 3.
Was there any women or minorities that were narrowed down?
Not
No.
in that top 3, no.
How involved were you all in helping, how close were you all in the process of developing your own matrix, being able to have extensive access to interviewing these candidates, customization? How does that work? Because that would just be my question since I wasn't part of anything prior.
I don't remember all those specifics. 14 years, it was a
I
different,
understand.
generation back then.
But they,
Didn't have
but
one
they
single-
provided,
one
they
single
provided the
Zoom meeting.
candidates for us. We did not, we only interviewed the candidates when we were making our selection of which candidate.
Right, I
We did
understand.
not, yeah,
So they-
okay.
Yeah.
But we did have all the pre-meetings and stuff having.
No, we didn't
just
have
a
any of
discuss-
those things.
I mean, so then
Yes, we
there's
had
a-
meetings to talk about what we were looking for.
But I'm talking about interviewing the candidates prior to our making our selection. We only
No, we
interviewed.
didn't do that, and we won't be
Right.
doing that now either. No,
Well,
cool.
And
We
that's the only
can.
reason I asked. I saw something in Ray and Associates, not the ability at least to be able to watch those interviews being conducted. So I guess what I'm asking is how flexible will this process be? How much can this be customized? Because Alonzo was mentioning this idea of something feeling canned, which I don't know. I'm just asking.
Like I said, everything was different back then. So but what I do remember is they did whatever we asked them to do. So if we said we wanted to be included on more of the interviews except for the top 3, I'm sure that they would be willing to,
Like some flexibility there. Yeah.
yes.
One thing about Ray and Associates was that only did they talk about the diversity as far as candidates that they could provide us. They also talked about how important it was that how diverse they were, and which says a lot, and not just making a statement. And I'm not saying I don't even know MSBA to be that or not. What I'm saying is they made the statement, and I know I'm relying on presentation, but as far as presentation goes, I know that they far exceeded and explained themselves and a lot better in those areas.
And to address one of Natalie's questions, I know from experience that they do, Ray and Associates, allow the board members to be part of building the questions and actively being a part of the matrix as well.
Right, that was something that I saw as recognizable, but I don't really, I was asking more toward MSBA. And so it seems like if what I'm hearing is that this has been so long ago that processes can change and that they would more than likely be flexible and have like some updated procedures or ways of us being able to collaborate on some of these things that are important, if I'm hearing correctly.
Yeah, but that's not what was presented.
Okay.
Being able to and presenting it also means a lot to me in my mind if you mention it. One of the reason GR wasn't, I liked their proposal, but they didn't even mention the hot topic of today. And so I think that's something that stands out. And MSBA did get high rank because they had a statement in regards to that, but that was what it was, a statement. And if I remember correctly, there's once you get down to 5 or 7 candidates, before they narrow it down further, we have an option to narrow it down to see who gets interviewed.
I think that was from all the procedures.
Okay, well,
That we can select how many we want to bring in.
any more discussion on the motion? All right, ready for roll call. Should I do that or should Millie do that?
Millie can do it.
Okay.
Okay, Natalie,
Ooh,
Natalie Johnson Berry,
Yes, I'll go ahead and say, yes, I.
okay, Alonzo Burton,
no,
okay. Rick Moore,
Yes.
Terry Landers,
Yes.
okay. Beth Plank,
Yes.
Bobby Salisbury,
No,
okay, Donna Payton,
No.
okay,
motion, I got it right. Motion passes 4-3, right?
What I got?
mhm.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education select Ray and Associates as the consulting firm to conduct the new superintendent search.
second,
Shelley,
Yes.
we have just elected a firm and now we're nominating another one. Can we
I
do
thought
that?
that motion passed. Was I
The
listening
motion
correctly?
passed to go
Motion
with
passed.
MSBA.
Oh, so that it's not open to any other motions at this
I-
point?
I
Because,
thought we said we could do 2.
That,
But
yeah,
the
can we
motion
have
was,
some clarification here, please?
Because it was originally stated that we could choose 2 and make our decision from that.
that was a question. Could we bring them in to discuss directly to 2 of them? But then we discussed further and I made the motion to select one, to select MSBA as our firm to do it. And that's what the second was, and that's what we voted on. We weren't voting to bring in we weren't voting to do the open discussion. That went by the wayside with the motion that was made.
Shelley,
Yes, sir.
is that,
so we have another motion that's been seconded on the floor.
I'm looking for some direction, Shelley.
Yeah. Millie, did you happen to write down the original motion?
The original motion was for MSBA, Terry Landers motioned and Beth Plank second. It was 4-3 for MSBA.
And Terry, your motion was to hire MSBA.
Yes. To hire their.
To
that
hire,
firm
but to
as our-
select. I don't know if that makes a difference, but as a selection, not as a hire.
I guess
Well,
what we're,
select, all right, now that was to select this firm to do our intern or
Sort
do
of
our,
like- Shelley, it's sort of like what we're doing for board candidates. Is like who the motion was first is. Well, I don't. Whatever the rule is to.
Well, from the motion I heard, you've already hired one. Now you got a motion to hire another one.
Well, we haven't
We have
hired,
Selected one.
we selected one.
We selected one. He used the word select. Now, that may be a matter of semantics. So if Shelley could just clear that up for us, that'd be wonderful. Or if one of the yes votes from the previous motion would like to recall.
Well, if the motion was to hire and the motion passed,
It wasn't to hire. It was to select.
We can check the recording to make sure, right?
I think he
I'm
read it.
confused about how those are different.
Did you read it?
yeah, I'm not sure how those are when you say select, are you meaning select to interview?
That's
no,
well, that's the fact that you asked that question
And
already.
I apologize because I thought we were picking two.
That's what I
And
thought
I
too.
was, and I was equally unclear as well.
So
And
we
that's-
can
So
They can
if the,
can we have a vote to rescind the motion that passed, or
the person who voted in favor of the motion would have to move to reconsider. And that motion separately would have to have a second and discussion and pass.
okay,
So someone that voted yes on the previous motion would have to vote to rescind that motion, correct?
reconsider.
I vote to rescind that motion.
It's not rescinding, it's move to reconsider.
Reconsider.
Okay,
To
okay.
reconsider that motion.
Now, when you guys said you want, oh, is there a second?
Can I second it, Shelley?
I second it.
Okay, who seconded? Was it
Bobby.
Bobby or? Okay,
Bobby.
My
And
question
Natalie was the first.
Correct.
for discussion, are we reconsider, when you guys said that you thought we're gonna select two, are you talking about to interview?
So I was always considering selecting two to interview so that I can gain more information about both.
No.
I thought I heard Mr. Burton say we needed to move forward tonight on this and everyone agreed with that.
But Rick, that doesn't keep us from having those two selection. That's still moving forward.
But then what are we gonna do?
Well, we're gonna interview them.
But that's what Terry wanted to do and everybody said they didn't want to do that.
Oh, I don't recall
Yeah,
all of that.
I wanted
I
to
did
find
say
out
that.
That's
more.
exactly what Terry was asking to be done. And several people said, no, we need to pick one and move forward
I
tonight.
said we need to pick one. I thought we need to pick one.
And I've always
I'm asking.
maintained that I want to find out more information on the merits of Terry's original suggestion.
Mr. Burton,
This is one of the things
Said we
exactly why even this little bit of division right here and trying to select a company is what I was afraid of. I think at this point, really, the only choice we have is to select these two and interview them both in person.
That's what the.
To have a chance of going forward with some unity here, I think we need to do that.
I think we're in agreement with
So we
that,
have a
Rick.
motion on the table to.
No, we weren't
reconsider.
in agreement.
I said we are in agreement.
we're not in agreement because Mr. Burton said we needed to move forward. We went through a discussion period and I said, to get this off the ground, I'm going to make a motion that we select MSBA as our firm to, and I'm not quoting myself completely, but If you say
There's
I use
one
the word
person.
select, that's, in that term, select meant to hire them as our firm to conduct our interview process. I got a second. We took a vote. It passed 4-3, and we have a firm
So the
hired, in
motion-
my opinion.
So the motion on the table is to reconsider that motion.
Rescind.
No, it's not to rescind, it's just to reconsider.
Sorry, reconsider, I'm sorry.
Yeah, reconsider. So any more discussion on that before we vote?
I don't understand how you can misinterpret what I said, though. And
We're
then
not,
come
we're
back and
not,
say,
we're
"No,
not, we're not reconsidering the word selection. We're reconsidering because you had one person vote in favor thinking that they were gonna vote for
And I
no.
just want to explain though, and Shelley can tell me if I'm wrong, so just so everybody's clear. If we vote and pass this motion to reconsider, then Mr. Lander's original motion will still be on the table. It won't
That's
be
correct.
rescinded. We'll just be reconsidering that motion again. So if we want to do something different, we will do it at that time. This won't be a motion. If we pass the motion to reconsider, that doesn't mean we're voting down MSBA. It doesn't mean we're voting for Rain Associates.
That's
This means
correct.
we'll go
Right.
back to voting on the original
Original
motion.
motion, yes.
Which means bringing in both of these two, just to clarify, and being able to have further discussion and interviews. Is that?
No, it doesn't
that
mean
would-
that unless
Okay,
we vote
clarify
to
it
do
again.
that.
I wanna make sure.
And that, we have to make a motion for that.
Yeah, someone would have
My
to,
recommendation still would be what, to conclude this. Okay, so, Millie, you wanna do a
Yes,
roll call to reconsider?
Sure. Natalie Johnson Berry,
Yes, yes.
Rick Moore,
yes,
Alonzo Burton,
Yes.
Terry
Hey, Millie.
Landers. Yes,
Millie, we're voting to
consider,
reconsider. Okay,
yes. Reconsider the motion for the MSBA.
okay.
Okay. Terry Landers, I'm sorry.
no,
No? Okay. Beth Plank,
Yes.
Donna, oh, Bobby Salisbury. Sorry, Bobby.
Yes,
And Donna Plank.
Donna.
Donna
you
Payton.
got both names.
Peyton, I'm so sorry.
She's my mom.
No, hey.
In Millie's defense, this is her first meeting.
It
She's
is.
doing good.
And she's doing a great job.
No, well, I guess I don't have a defense.
No, you don't.
And Alonzo, did I ask you?
I can vote twice, I guess.
Oh, you said yes, didn't you?
Yeah,
Okay, 7 yes,
Six
Nope.
yes.
6
Six
yes.
yes,
6
one
to
no.
6 yes, and 1 no.
Yeah.
Okay,
So now the original motion and second are still on the table for discussion.
All right. We gotta do another roll call, Millie.
okay.
well, no, it's open for discussion.
Okay.
Right.
And if I might say something, please, in discussion, you know, having differing opinions does not necessarily mean division. And when we start looking at it that way, I agree with Rick, because Rick, when he sees something that looks like division, he always yields towards unity, some way to build that bridge. And I appreciate that so much about you, Rick. But I don't want just having different opinions to be something that we ever are divided as a board because of. So thank you for bringing that up, and thank you for mentioning your desire towards unity as well.
Thank you.
Well,
And
and
that's why I don't think we should, and this is still discussion, so I'm discussing the motion. I don't think we should go ahead and vote on that now. I think we should move to table in order to bring in these two candidates to interview in person. and to help
No?
us go
Oh.
forward together, because now we know that the motion will fail if we vote on it again.
So, I still would say that we plan to have these firms submit us this stuff expeditiously, our proposals, and we plan this meeting to make a decision. I don't think there's a much difference, in our opinions about who it is. The only thing that I would say, I don't know that we should just pick a firm that most of us did not even have on our list, or a firm that more of us did. And that's just my opinion on how we proceed today. Because I mean, an interview, when are we going to do that? How long is it going to take to get that set up? We already talked about what we needed to do. I understand that MSBA is definitely qualified and has done it for us before. Ray and Associates definitely attracted most of us, and more than MSBA did. And I think we shouldn't race to make a motion to get a firm because one has more majority when one would have more. I think if the motion had been made for Ray and Associates, it couldn't have been reconsidered. I don't know. It wouldn't have been, the reconsider probably wouldn't have worked. And the whole reason we're having a reconsideration is because, we just feel so close about, we picked two. How about everybody say who their one is?
And if I could also add something too, when, what Terry and Rick are saying, and we all honor one another's opinion, they were there with MSBA. We were not. We see, and I've worked, of course, for Ray and Associates, so I'm in favor of Ray and Associates, but I haven't worked with MSBA. So I do like the idea of having an interview because they haven't worked with Ray and Associates. So it would give us both, those that are in favor of MSBA and those that are in favor of Ray and Associates, the opportunity to begin on the same level playing ground. These are my questions, and so that's why I was thinking we were going to do two. So I apologize for my misunderstanding.
I agree with that now at this point, because I actually agreed with Alonzo first. I thought we just needed to make this decision, move forward to speed. And I felt going into that that Ray did have the majority votes. But right now, if we move forward, then you're going to have upset people about that we moved forward on a technicality. So I'm just saying at this point, even though I think we should have made a decision tonight, whoever it was, I think at this point in favor of unity going forward, we should interview both of these firms.
Can I say something?
Very good points. I agree with it as well.
I agree as well.
I agree, and I agree with Donna, but I also think, going into tonight, we were given 5 very lengthy packets, and, you can go over them, but I'm like, part of me is going, well, was this in this one or that in that one? And so the ability to go over just 2 packets with a fine tooth comb, I think will also be advantageous to each of us too, when we're only focusing on 2 rather than 5.
Absolutely.
I think
agree.
y'all agree. I think we agree. I just got one last question, Shelley. And because we were considering time, and I'm okay with that not being a factor anymore, but what are we looking like? When can we ask these people to get here? Are we looking at a meeting a month in our board? What are we looking?
You can, part of it is getting the board together because you have 7, 8, 9, 10 schedules you're trying to coordinate here. And you can set it and just tell them when it is. My experience is they will be there if they can.
I just always keep all my Mondays open as much as possible.
I do the same. This is Donna. I do the same.
Not for Mondays. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm having like some technical difficulties. I am available Mondays, like for all the board dates. I'm available just a little bit later once I get out of class. So I'm pretty flexible a little bit later.
If you
How about-
select 2 firms to interview, I would suggest that you maybe try to coordinate 2 dates amongst yourselves so that if they both happen to be available on one of those 2 dates, you can just move forward with scheduling it.
Are you saying 2 dates or two different times on the same day?
2 days, depending on how quickly you want to move. If you know this meeting was held in a week, if you're looking to press and try to do the interviews in another week, you want to make sure that both of your candidates are available on that short notice. So you might want to have a backup date available in case they are not.
Well, then let's, if one's not available, then one is, we just go with that one.
That's what I was thinking too, Alonzo.
That says a lot right there. I
Can I say
mean,
something, Mr. President?
I say Tuesday.
Tuesdays are much better.
Mr. President, can I make a quick comment?
Yeah.
As I was going through the packets, I noticed one thing pretty much in all of them, and that was not very many of them have openings out there right now. So I say that and saying, you know, you want to get this done in a big hurry. I still think you're okay on some of your time here. I don't think you need to, you know, completely rush it, because I didn't see any that had more than 5 searches they were actively doing, 5, 6 searches. So
I think that's right.
I think you're still in pretty good shape.
All right. How about Tuesday?
Tuesday, what date?
Right.
Today's 16th, so 8 days from now.
24th?
24th.
No, I can't do the 24th.
All right, and I'm checking my calendar.
Can we just see, can we start with Mondays and see what the earliest time that Natalie is available? Because 8 o'clock is fine starting time with me.
I will
For an
say,
interview?
okay, so you want to start with Monday, which Monday?
23rd?
23rd.
Any Monday.
Okay, so Monday, the 23rd, I'm gonna check my calendar, but I do have class, but after I get out of class, I'm okay. Long as it's after 7:15 and I can just Zoom in or from the campus, or how are we doing this? I guess that would be the question.
You'd be doing that through a telephone call. If you're
Okay, I mean, I'll be at UMKC. I can be there and just stay there and hang out. So I'm okay with that. Is that too late for anyone?
Unless you want to conduct the meeting, the interviews by Zoom, and it sounds like both of them would be able to do that.
I'm fine with Zoom if everybody else is okay with that, and I can just click on the link and just find one of the campus rooms.
Wait, well, I guess there's the question of the interview questions.
So is there a format where
I would suggest keeping it informal. Let them start off by telling us why we should select them, and then we'll just ask follow-up questions.
so kind of like organic, whatever we find out, whatever transpires from that, we just ask.
I'd say I'd have the board president begin by saying, walk us through your search process.
Shelley, can this be in closed session?
I think we have to do it in open, don't we, Shelley?
Yeah, there's really no basis to close it.
Okay, it doesn't matter. I was just asking.
So we're talking I prefer Zoom. Yeah,
Yeah,
telephone.
same thing here.
I'd rather
Yeah.
see you in person.
Oh, yeah, we want to see them in person and talk
Yeah.
to them.
Would
Yeah.
you all like me to share with you interview
Not-
questions that have been used by other boards recently for firm selection?
I think that would be useful.
And the reason for Zoom is our telephone is because Ray and Associates is out of town. Is that the reason?
I personally,
I don't know.
I personally would prefer in person.
Yeah, I was thinking, why weren't we doing it in person?
I like in person.
I think we should do in person.
So if you all do in person, is
8:00.
okay, I was getting ready to say, I'm okay in person 8:00, or I'm okay by Zoom after 7:20. Either way.
Well, I'll let you know we're tied right now. But
30 minutes each one, you think, Mr. President?
Is that?
You want 30 minutes up for each candidate?
Yeah.
So we need to post a meeting for Monday, the 23rd at 8 p.m. Correct?
Okay,
You still have a motion and a second pending on the table, excuse me, pending. So that motion either needs to be withdrawn or you need to consider moving to table that motion.
Um.
That'd be up to
Yeah, we
Mr.
would
Landers.
Well, we preferably withdraw the motion.
Is it Donna's motion that's on the table?
No, it's Terry's.
Now, Mr. Landers,
I don't remember who seconded it.
Rick Moore.
Rick,
I'm fine if it's withdrawn.
is that making a motion to withdraw?
No, we'll just see if Terry,
It's Terry's motion.
I will agree to withdraw the motion, but I want to make it perfectly clear, I still do not understand why you did not understand what I was saying. I used the word select, that's fine. You knew what we were talking about. We voted on this firm. Point being, if Ray and Associates has to do a Zoom meeting, then that's one of the reasons I said we needed to stay with MSBA, was because they're local and they can meet with us. So I will withdraw the motion from the table and agree to meet and interview them next week. I hope they both can do it in person. And I think that we need to do it in person. 8 o'clock's fine with me. So is that all I need to do, is say I withdraw the motion?
Yeah, I think Rick already agreed since he was the second, and then you need some sort of board action. If you're going to formally select two firms to interview, you need to take board action to identify which two.
Mr. President.
Yeah.
I move the board take action to interview Ray and Associates and MSBA as potential search firms for a new superintendent.
I
I
second.
second that. Oh, excuse me, Donna.
I second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, we can have a roll call.
okay. Alonzo Burton,
Yes.
Terry Landers,
Yes.
Beth Plank,
Yes.
Bobby Salisbury,
Yes.
Natalie Johnson Berry,
Yes.
Terry Landers. Oh, I already asked you. I'm so sorry. Donna Payton,
Yes.
Rick Moore,
Yes.
Did I miss anybody? I think that's it.
And what was that motion? I was having technical difficulty in getting muted and videoed out of the meeting at the time.
The motion was that Shelley will provide dinners going forward to all, at all
Nice.
board meetings.
And the
I heard.
motion passed.
Starting Monday.
It was that we were
No.
selecting Gray and Associates and MSBA
Got it. Okay.
for interviews.
And I was the one that muted you and took your video off, Shelley. Apologize for that.
I appreciate that.
I never had that power in Zoom before, and I'm kind of enjoying it. So, know who's going to be next here? Maybe Natalie.
You getting charged whether I'm muted or not.
Yeah, no, we know that. We know that.
Well, I think that's it. I apologize for being off a little bit tonight. It's my first meeting over Zoom
You did a good job.
in the room.
You did a great job.
I think I may have caused some of that confusion, but we can move on. Thanks for the resolution, Rick and Donna.
Thank you.
On a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Good night, everyone.